Absolutely hate following James Langford. He's such an articulate spokesperson for what I consider to be United States priorities and foreign policy. Really respect him. He and I are classmates. We came in together in 2014 election, and it's been an extraordinary opportunity to work with him. Thank you all, and Robert, thank you. We're in interesting times, I think we can probably safely say. And at one point, maybe we're in some of the most dangerous times we've been in for nearly a century. Now is the time for Western nations either enjoying democracy or moving towards democracy to really stand together. Last night we had a vote on the Senate floor for a supplemental for Ukraine aid and Israel aid, which failed. I was one who voted against it. Not because I'm against Ukraine aid or Israel aid. I firmly believe that we will get there. But I also think that we have a valid domestic debate that we need to get through, and it has to do with our homeland security. Over the last 2 years, we've had 1.5 million people enter this country. We simply don't know who they are, and we don't know where they are. 1.5 million people who paid cartels anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 to transit to Mexico to cross the border in sectors that the cartels have specifically designated as the ideal corridor for someone who does not want to be apprehended by Border Patrol. And let me tell you why that's concerning and why I think it's important to explain this debate that we're going through to fellow parliamentarians. It's concerning because today, if you go to the southern border of the United States, and you cross the southern border. I have been to the southern border multiple times. I've been there at midnight, knowing that the coyotes, the human traffickers just across the river, know that we're there. They shout to us, "We're coming." They literally shout to us and Border Patrol agents that we're coming. What's interesting as we hear that comment is that right below us, literally at the bank of the Rio Grande River, is an orange fluorescent arrow. That arrow is there to indicate to the person who crosses the border that if you follow those arrows, you can present yourself to a Border Patrol agent where you will be processed, and in a matter of days, maybe a week, you will be released into the U.S. Population, pending a trial that may happen 3, 4, or 5 years down the road. So one has to ask themselves, why would you pay a cartel from $5,000 to $50,000 to evade that 1 week or 1.5 week of inconvenience? 1.5 million people over the last 2 years fit into that got-away category. For someone like me, it represents a homeland security risk. I support Ukraine because I want their homeland to be secure and I want their borders to be honored. I support Israel because I want their homelands to be secure and I want their borders honored. I also support the efforts of peace-loving Palestinians to resolve the conflict in the Middle East. But I can't look and only concern myself with our friends and our allies and shift my attention away from a chronic problem at home. I believe, though, with the help of James Langford and other members like myself who always are seeking compromise in this body, that we will get to a solution. And it's critically important because we're at a moment in time in history where I think 50 or 100 years from now, the decisions we make over the next month or so are going to set forth either a path to increase prosperity and freedom or one to where we may have to answer against totalitarians like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, not to mention the mullahs in Iran. But it's very important for you all as parliamentarians to know this is a sausage factory, okay? To maybe get to a lighter note, don't worry, I mean, just judge the taste of the sausage. Don't really judge the process that we must go through to get there. And we're in a very different time now. We're in divided government where Republicans control the House, Democrats control the Senate. And as you all know, particularly those of you who are in bicameral bodies, When you have that, then the negotiations become much more complex. But I do believe at the end of the day that we will be successful. I hope today, meeting with the Turkish delegation, that I'm told that Sweden will soon be moving into NATO. I should mention that I'm the Republican lead for the Senate NATO Observer Group, and I've been in that role for about 5 years. I deeply respect and admire and revere that alliance. I think the modernization, Vladimir Putin, I don't believe, when he decided to invade Ukraine, had any earthly idea how quickly NATO was going to respond and ultimately expand and modernize. But that's precisely what's happened. While he's losing on the battlefield, he's also losing in terms of what he thought was a stress test of NATO when he invaded Ukraine. Well, we lived up to that stress test. We surprised him. And coming together with now nearly 50 nations, we have to continue to keep our foot on the accelerator so that Ukraine ultimately prevails. So today, I just come here to tell you, don't worry about the interim headlines. I firmly believe that we will be successful. We will support Ukraine. We will support Israel. Our NATO alliance has never been stronger, and I think it's something that we will build on to make it even stronger. The last thing I'll leave you with is something I heard as I was coming in with James. Now it's also a historic opportunity to use that goodwill and that partnership that we've seen in Ukraine to get the family of freedom-loving nations together to confront China on the battlefield of economics. We need a good story to tell in Africa, a counter to the Belt and Road Initiative. We're beginning to see that foundation beginning to weaken, and this is an opportunity for us, not on a unilateral basis, but on a multilateral basis, to go to Africa, to go to South America, and to build economic ties and actually build economies that could be the next place for the 20-year process that we will go through, delinking from China where it makes sense, or at least creating resiliency. It's a wonderful opportunity to do that, but it's not going to take root in the way that it could unless we join together and figure out a better option for struggling nations in Africa, a better option for struggling nations in South America. So with your help and with your partnership, I think that we will end up looking at this as a great moment in time in history. It's not obvious right now, but I think it will be. I think we'll make decisions over the next couple of months that will ultimately lead to Vladimir Putin's failure and loss in Ukraine. Those same decisions will send a message to China that we want to have good, normalized relationships with you, but it has to be on terms that democratic nations can be satisfied with. And so working together and continuing to have this dialogue, I appreciate you all coming to D.C. I share James' desire for you all to spend a lot of money while you're here. But I hope you all know that this dialogue and what you're going to be doing today and with Robert's leadership is critically important. I love my time abroad. I love my time speaking with leaders of other countries and finding the reality that we have so much more in common than we have different. And we need to keep it work together. So everyone, happy holidays, and I wish you a very prosperous and free new year.
Thank you, Senator Tillis. He's a remarkable leader and very grateful for your participation with us this year. I think I saw Robert Adderholt. Congressman, come on up here real quick. He's a great man. From Alabama, no less. We're going to confront him in the football game, I hope, for the championship. I'm a Longhorn, Texas. But Bob, come give a remarks. Bob was trying to be with us earlier this morning for the prayer breakfast, but got delayed. But thank you so much, and just please greet us.
Yeah, well, thank you, Robert. I slipped in the back. We have our weekly prayer breakfast on the House side every Thursday morning, and today we had our Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, to be the speaker. And so we enjoyed hearing from him and just his faith and what his God means in his life. And so we're just honored to have Mike as our new speaker over on the House side. But I did want to come over here and greet so many of you. And course, Robert and I have been friends for many years, served in the House of Representatives together. And it's impressive how he has put this forum together over the years. He sends me notices of it. They're literally, I know, happening around the world. And so these security forums are so vitally important. But also, I just want to appreciate Robert's willingness to serve in that role. And to also, I know they had the prayer breakfast this morning, and his faith is extremely important. But please know you've got a lot of friends on the House and the Senate side, even though I've come over here to the other side this morning on the Senate side. I'm honored to be here and to work closely with my colleagues on the Senate side and to make sure that we can keep this nation secure and make sure that we can keep all law-abiding countries secure. And so I just wanted to come by and greet you and say it's great to be with you this morning and look forward to getting a chance to see some of you. I look around the room, I see a lot of old friends in there around the room. Some of them are not so old, but I've known them for a long time. But anyway, great to be with you and look forward to working with you. And please call on me any way that I can be of help, and God bless. Thank you all.
Thank you, Congressman.